Hey yo, what is up? Today I'm making a video review on the 50 TP Prototyp. This is a tier 8 premium heavy tank on the Polish line now. The last time I played this tank was 4 years ago, and is it still relevant in 2022? Let's find out. Now, the other day I played the Udani on this same very map, and I'm going to a position that I saw some Twitch streamers use, and instead of mugging around and waiting, I'm just gonna drive there immediately, and if I have to take a hit for it, I'll take a hit for it. But I figured that if I get there early in the game, I'm gonna surprise most of the enemy. They're not gonna expect me to be so aggressive early in the game, and I thought I'd be able to get there quite safely. But anyway, 2022 50 TP Prototyp. This tank has pretty low stock penetration on the AP shells, which is 218, and the premium shells has 245 penetration. Hey, look, I got here safely. Not bad, right? This is a trick that maybe you can use if you're here on the airfield map. As long as there's no one sniping you in the butt, make sure you are close to this little hill here, this little rock here, and you're going to be alright. I took a hit from the Tiger P. I didn't know he was there, and he shot me right at the lower plate. That is a weak spot, but it's not going to be a problem. I am in a very strong position here to fight anybody, basically, as long as nobody's shooting me from the B line, in the bushes. Then I'm just gonna be hunky-dory over here. I'm not afraid of the Tiger P. In fact, I'm just gonna make sure that I try to not take any damage while I am hunkered here. He tries to hit me, but he hits me on top of my gun, and I have a lot of armor there. Like I said, this tank is an old tank. 4 years ago, 218 penetration on stock AP shells was pretty good. 245 premium shells on APCR was very good. But nowadays, tanks after the 50 TP, like the Defender 252U, has 225 penetration on stock shells and 265 penetration on premium shells, while the Udani stock shells is 221 and premium shells 285 penetration. But what does this have that the Udani does not have is 440 alpha with a reload time of 13.61 seconds, significantly quicker than the Defender, which is 14.38 seconds. But the Udani is reloading 11.51 seconds, 2 seconds quicker than the 50 TP. But 50 TP, you have 440 alpha. That is the main selling point of this tank, and I'm gonna go after the Caliban here, no problem not hitting the dirt in that snapshot there. That's because the dispersion on this tank is 0.38. Remember, Udani has slightly better dispersion than the 252U, and the 50 TP has slightly better dispersion than the Udani, because 252U has 0.42 dispersion, Udani has 0.40 dispersion, and 50 TP has 0.38 dispersion. They all share the same moving dispersion penalty, which is 0.24. So moving and rocking your tank forwards and backwards while shooting, that's not going to be really good for accuracy. However, if you are playing a slow game, taking your time to aim, then the accuracy is not going to be much of a problem. But if you're trying to snapshot on the move, as soon as you stop your tank and you want to fire off that shot, you're going to miss a lot of those medium to long distance shots. I have had issues with accuracy in the 50 TP gun, but not in close distances. It's mostly medium and long range distances, or trying to snipe cupolas. That could be a little bit of a challenge. But for a tank that is 4 years old, it is, to be honest with you, holding up with the very best. If you compare this to the newest tank, which is the Udani, I don't think this tank is that bad. I don't think it's You know, in my last video I compared the Udani with the 252U, and I felt that the Udani has a slight advantage over the 252U. Now if I compare the Udani to the 50TP, I'm gonna say this is very equally matched, because the 440 Alpha is what's doing it for me for the 50TP prototype. That 50 more damage, you know, you can accept a little bit less penetration because this thing has that 50 extra damage when you do pen. If you do have a problem with stock shells, you can always fire premium shells and be very competitive with 245 penetration on the APCR shells. In this game, done pretty well for myself, nearly 3k damage, blocked 1130, and even did a little bit of spotting for myself, 1364. The next map is on mines, and we are on the north spawn. This is of course the winning spawn. You have no excuses if you are on this spawn and you don't win. You know, perhaps you have really terrible matchmaker where you know, you have a chieftain on your enemy team and you don't have an enemy, you don't have a chieftain on your team, or you completely throw the game. There is really, you know, there is really no excuse for you to not win when you are spawned on the north. Very seldom do you lose unless you are completely throwing, or you know, you just have very poor matchmaking. Immediately go to the rock and try to hull down and snapshot this IS-6, well, not snapshot, but try to get the lower plate, and then I'm going to reload and try to get a second shot onto that IS-6, but I made a little bit of a mistake here because he was expecting me and he nailed me. And then as I'm backing off, the SU-130PM also manages to nail me and fire off 528 damage that I took from that guy. Pretty piss poor performance, to be honest with you. Managed to snipe that Rheinmetall poor sick right at the back there, and did some good damage on him, but I took some damage from the Lowy. That is because I kind of overside scraped here and took damage. He was just using AP shells and he nailed me there. I just showed too much of my side, so just make sure that you are side scraping correctly and not over angling. And immediately I bounced that AP shell on the Caliban and immediately got frustrated, and from now onwards going to shoot only APCR because I want to make sure that I can penetrate that Caliban on the turret, which I do, I think, on this shot. Yes, I do. And I bounced the Caliban. He was firing AP shells there and trying to get my turret with, I think the Caliban's got pretty good penetration, but not good enough to penetrate my turret. I still have pretty good armor for an old tank. This is 210 frontal armor, turret armor, and it is sloped, so this tank can easily fight against tier 8 tanks, even heavy tanks. You can even go up against tier 9 tanks, but not all the time. Tier 9 tanks, of course, they have higher penetration, so it's a little bit more challenging for a 50TP to go up against tier 9 heavy tanks on the turret armor side of the game. But sometimes you can get away with it. I managed to bounce another shot here from the Lowy. This time he's got my upper track. I don't have any more HP left, only 200 plus HP, but I did manage to eke out 2485 damage for myself. Spotted 920 for myself. Get a little bit more damage here. Again, that 440 alpha gun means that sometimes you get high rolls, 450s, you get some 480s, you get some 490s, which is pretty good. I did get a little bit of a low roll on that Borsig for 398 damage, but you know, still within that 400 alpha range, it's not too bad. this game is already won from the first 5 minutes, and that's because we took control of the mines itself, the middle of the map, and this part of the map, the rocks. These two rocks, if your heavy tanks have control of these rocks, you are very much probably going to win this game. Now it is a matter of trying to get out as much damage as possible for myself and try to try to get all the combat XP and damage for myself to try to maximize my effectiveness in this game. I missed out that opportunity to get that Burrasque here as he was driving by, and I did not penetrate that Burrasque. I think I shot his upper plate instead of his lower plate there, and missed out a bit of opportunity there to get a little bit more damage. But the game is ending. We are dominating. The light tank is trying to spot out the Su-130PM in the bushes. To be honest with you, that is the only reason that is stopping me from rushing forward, because of that Su-130PM can definitely finish me off easily. We do have that light tank which is trying to spot that Su-130PM. I can't make a move right now, or maybe I can try and fire into this bush to see if I can catch that Su-130PM. I'll try to fire one shot and see if I can get him, but if I held my shot a bit longer there, I could have, maybe if I was lucky, landed one shot. But now that the Su-130PM has backed off, I have to make an executive decision here to risk it for the biscuit or not, because the game is going to be over. If I don't push forward here, I'm not going to get anything. At least I'm going to get one kill on the Caliban here, but I'm spotted. Su-130PM decides not to shoot me and shoot the TVP VTU behind me instead, very thankfully. But only the Su-130PM and the T-54 Mod 1 left. I have to go forward if I want to get any more damage. Still a respectable 3,500 damage, and I feel like even in 2022, 4 years after the 50TP made its debut in 2018, this tank is still a very viable, very competitive tank, and a pretty good tank holding up by itself in 2022. If you manage to get this tank on sale, I think it goes on sale for something like 10,000 gold or something like this. Totally worth it if it's if you have to, maybe if you get tokens and get this free tank, maybe it comes up as a Clan Wars, one of those tanks that you can put together in the mechanic where you can fix it together and get a free tank or something. Totally worth it, because this tank is still pretty useful. Grind some credits out of it. If you're firing premium, if you're firing standard shells, you save a lot of credits and make a lot of credits in this tank. Still a very good tank in 2022 in my opinion. I hope you enjoyed this video and a quick review of this 4-year-old tank. Thanks for watching. I will see you on the next one. Bye bye.